Alright, fellow astronauts, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about Lucid, but instead of talking about their stock, we're going to be talking about their car, since it's billed as the second coming of Tesla. We want to take a look to see if the car meets the standards, because it's billed like the pinnacle of luxury. That's like what their advertising is. So we actually are fortunate enough to live close enough to a Lucid studio, so we went to take a look. But before we continue, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Okay, so let's start from the exterior of this car, okay? It's billed as the pinnacle of luxury. They want to be more luxurious than Tesla. So what did you think about the car when we actually saw it in person? Because it looks quite good online.
Yeah, the pictures look really good online. But the first vibe that I got when we went to the booth is very futuristic looking. But it's also a full bar of lights across the hood.
Sure, yeah. So that would be the one thing that kind of differentiates the front from a Model S, because the Model S has those two separate headlights. And then the flat area in the front instead of a grille. And so does a Lucid. Yeah. There's that flat area instead of a grille.
Overall, I don't think it's like a terrible look, but I don't think people are ready.
I think there's a certain segment that'll really enjoy that UFO, the luxury. They're trying to bring on that luxurious feel by showing something that's really different. But yet somehow this looks so similar to a Model S. Yeah. And there's so many of those out there that I'm not sure that this is it.
Like you're saying, it's like a copy. There's a lot of copied aspects.
Like someone forgot to do the homework.
Yeah.
And then like, bro, can you
hook me up with some of the answers?
And then they go, don't copy it exactly.
Yeah.
Let it look a little bit different. The rest of it is kind of unremarkable. The back,
That's sides. Exactly what I was thinking. Like the front is super different.
Yeah.
And as soon as you get around the front, it's like a regular car.
It's a sedan.
Yeah.
Any random sedan, you wouldn't really be able to tell from the side profile.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to the other feature of electric cars that are super luxurious, super futuristic, the Frunk. This actually kind of leads us into how they treated everyone in their studio.
Yeah. I don't have anything to say about it because of
what happened, right?
Happened at the studio.
They couldn't show it to us.
Yeah, I don't even know what it looks like.
They said it was inoperable because it was a pre-production vehicle. Like, I was just confused. Just like, why even open a studio if all you have is a pre-production vehicle? I can say that from photos, I went to talk to someone to be like, can you open the Frunk? I want to take a look. She was like, oh, I can't. And then she showed me a photo with like 2 golf bags in it. I was like, wow, that's big, but I guess I can't see it in person.
You could fit 2 golf bags in it. That's what they showed.
According to her, she showed one, it was showing 1 golf bag. She said we could put 2. I mean, it's wide. It's probably the largest Frunk that is in existence, if the car exists.
I was gonna say, Frunks across the board are notoriously smaller than you would expect.
The Tesla one is fairly good sized, I would say. And then I'll say that the Ioniq 5, that was like enough for a laptop or something. Yeah. Like you could slide in like a tiny laptop.
Utility box or something.
And then like, let's say the Polestar one, like you'd have to take out that little insert and you might be able to fit a charging cable in there. But this one's actually huge.
According to their pictures.
According to the pictures.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the other thing, because the car looks so much like a Model S, right? I don't know if you had any preconceptions about what the trunk was gonna look like, because I didn't look at very many pictures.
Yeah.
So you saw the trunk. What do you think when she opened it up?
My initial thoughts, it's like very hard to access.
Oh yeah?
Because a lot of the EVs that we've been looking at, they have that hatchback design.
Right.
Where that entire glass panel lifts and you have a lot more space to work with. It has like the traditional sedan.
Right. I didn't actually think hard to access. Now that you said it, I do agree.
Yeah.
Because it's got that deep inside where you can reach all the way inside.
Yeah.
So now you're bending over and stretching out and trying to reach the inside. The rep touted this clamshell thing as being a thing that made it a big trunk. And when she opened it, I was like, wait a second, this is not a hatchback. Because for the whole time,
They call it a clamshell thing.
They called it a clamshell.
It's literally just a regular sedan trunk.
Because, no, they call it a clamshell because it opens wide. So if you look at this photo, it opens wide so that there's no like little lip right there. You know, remember like a Camry would have a thing covering the side? That's why she called it a clamshell.
Oh yeah, the lights lift with the...
Yeah.
I mean...
Talk about not a great innovation.
Yeah, they're trying to sell it, but...
Yeah. Although I will say this might actually help them produce the vehicle because they have the light just one piece, so they don't need to line it up on the side.
Yeah.
So this might help them get the lines correct.
For sure.
I don't know how I would fit anything in there. Like, if you went to IKEA or something,
you wouldn't buy anything from IKEA.
Like, I just think about the times that we take a Prius to an IKEA, and you just like miraculously fit a bunch of stuff in it, and drive home. There's no miracles happening here.
It's gonna be hanging out of the back. You're gonna have to strap it in.
That's not good. But yeah, that's the back. And oh, actually, one more thing. You remember how I was like, oh, it's a power lift gate, right?
Oh.
And I reached up to press a button, and the rep was like, oh, no, that might not work. And I was like, what do you mean? It's a power lift gate. So I pressed the button anyways, and the gate comes and closes. She was like, oh, it doesn't work for everyone. And I was like, what? She said, oh, because it's a prototype vehicle. It's a pre-production vehicle. I was like...
So it's broken.
Yeah, it's already broken. That's what she
said.
said.
And then when you tried to open it...
Oh, right. The second time I came back around because I felt like I needed another video shot of it, right? I came and tried to open it. It got stuck. I was like, oh, that's what she means by broken. Because I pushed a button and it came up like an inch. And I was like, what happened? So I tried to pull on it and it just wouldn't move. So eventually I had to force it up.
It's not a good look.
Yeah, I don't know why the studio is open.
Yeah.
They should have waited to get another car in here.
Yeah.
So we'll move on to the interior of the car. The most important part would be the front seats, right? Mm-hmm. So did you have any thoughts about it before?
I didn't really have any thoughts on it.
Yeah.
I thought it looked good, the setup.
Okay.
It looked pretty clean.
Yeah, it of course, again, a really clean design. I had some thoughts about it because I really stared at this instrument cluster. I like how there's a center screen across the front for the driver alone. Some cars do away with this. And most people are used to having an instrument cluster in front of your steering wheel. So I think this will help people adjust better to this car. And then that middle screen, which is below the vents, it's quite low. I think it's really low. So if I was driving this car and I needed to do something on that screen, again, we weren't able to get in this car, so we have no idea what's on the screen. If it's nav or it's, you know, air conditioning, who knows what's on this screen. But if you had to stare at that screen for a little bit longer, your eyes are really far away from the windshield. So really far away from the road. So I don't know if this is a good design choice.
Right.
The center, we don't know how much space is in there. I couldn't really see any cup holders. So there's not much else to say about this. All right, so after the instrument cluster, we have to talk about these seats.
Yeah.
Right? The front seats and the back seats, but we'll start in the front. What do you think?
They look really low, and that was a very bad sign for comfort, because we know that low seats are extremely painful to sit in for a long time.
Especially because we know what the initial Model S seats look like from back like 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
And Elon Musk himself said that those seats were horrible.
And they are. They're trash.
Yeah. And here we see essentially the same thing. And for some reason, they weren't letting anyone get into the car to sit in it.
Yeah, because they know that would have been the #1 thing people would be talking about.
Just eyeballing it, they look basically a few inches off the ground.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
So like getting in and out of this car, you're crawling out of this car.
yeah.
And then the back seat. I had some preconceptions about the back seat because I thought the back seat was like supposed to be this chauffeured like experience, but in comparison to what I saw in person, it was horrible. Like I cannot imagine that being comfortable. But you know, of course, they weren't letting us into the car, so it's not like I can verify that. But I can verify that we went to a Tesla store shortly after going to this. The Model S rear seats, they have that same clearance. When you sit down in a Model S rear seats, they're horrible.
Yeah.
Like you are not going any distance in that. The butt will be sore, your knees will be tired. You're not gonna make it.
Yeah, for sure.
So I see the same thing with the Lucid here. Actually, one more thing about the front seat. They had that front seat pulled all the way back
Oh yeah.
to make it look like there's plenty of legroom in the front. It does not. Like if you had someone behind you and you wanted to give them some space so that they don't die.
You'd be in the fetal position up front. You'd be bracing for impact.
Oh man. I had to ask the rep right after that, after I looked at that. I said, so once you get the actual car that you're selling, the production model in, because they said, they keep telling me that their production model will be coming in soon. Will I be allowed to sit in it? She said, oh, it's just for reservation holders only. I was like, what? I was like, you're gonna put a car on display and not let anyone sit in it? Like, what kind of dealer does that? Actually, the other thing about the pre-production thing is that I went and looked how many studios they have open right now. There's more opening. There are 15 open right now. So what they're telling me is that they couldn't spare 15 cars to put in their flagship showroom so that people would be interested in pre-ordering it.
I mean, their earnings report is coming up. We'll see if they really could spare them or not.
Like they didn't build 15 vehicles? I refuse to believe that they couldn't build 15 vehicles. They have to have built more than that. Like they have to have gotten close to their goal, 500 something. No? Okay, we'll find out.
We'll find out.
If you've seen this vehicle in person, comment down below to let us know if you think that this vehicle is like a Tesla number 2.
Wait, but not that many people have seen this car in person.
Okay, so based on what you can find online about this car, tell us if you think this vehicle seems like a Tesla number 2.
Yeah.
How's that? Okay.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. And also if you think that they've actually made their delivery goal for last year. I'm really curious. Because I think no.
You guys should comment on how many you think they delivered, and whoever gets closest.
I don't know.
We'll like your comment.
Pin your comment. We'll pin your comment. Okay. And you have to say it before they announce the numbers.
Which
I'll
is
be
what
watching.
day? What day is
I
that?
think that's Monday.
Monday. Oh shoot, you don't have a lot of time.
All right, so if you enjoyed that video, give us a like and subscribe to the channel to see more, and we'll see you guys next time.